The miles have been run. The hammer has been dropped on those speed days. But the real question is the Hoka Cielo 2.0 worth your next marathon or half marathon? Find out in today's full review. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Cody with The Shoe Owns Cody, and today we got ourselves a good one. We are talking about the latest marathon shoe by Hoka. We are talking about the Cielo X 2.0. Whew, that is a long name, and honestly, I got a lot to say about this shoe. In this review, I'm going to talk about the good, the bad, and the verdict. Should you buy this shoe? Yeah, this shoe right here. Now, before I dive into all that goodness, I do need to point out one thing. This shoe was provided to me by Hoka at no cost, but they have no idea what I'm going to say in this review or any control over any content I do with their product. I also have a big favor to ask you. Hit the like button, smash the subscribe button. You know you want to. It costs you absolutely nothing, but it definitely helps the channel. Now let's sit back, relax, and let's talk about the Hoka Cielo 2.0. Because I'm a positive guy, let's talk about the good. And honestly, there's a lot to like about this shoe. I made a video previously comparing the 1 to the 2.0, and I've told you in that video there's a big difference. And the big difference for me is this foam. This foam feels more responsive. It's definitely more on that squishier side, especially when you get to that heel, but it feels really nice when you pick up the pace. That's the number one thing I will say about this shoe. I do feel fast in the shoe. I feel like when I've taken it on long runs and I was picking up the pace or I did speed work, I felt like I could drop the hammer in it, go about like 6:15 to 6:30, which for me is fast, and feel really good. I feel like when I was on my toes, I was able just to keep springing forward. This definitely is a more of aggressive rocker, and the more I'm running, the more I find out I really enjoy that. This rocker worked really nicely for me. Again, look at that foam. It's just butter. It's just really, really nice. The other thing I really liked is I personally really like the upper. It's pretty much see-through, so you better have some nice looking socks underneath, but it's also very breathable. I think for a marathon, half marathon, when you're dropping the hammer, it just does a really nice job, quite frank. The tongue, it is not a gusseted tongue, and I did, on a couple of my runs when I first got used to the shoe, I realized I had to really unlace it, make sure this was laying perfectly, especially down at the bottom when I was putting it on. Once I did that, I had no issues, but the first couple runs, I felt like it was bunching a little bit. You have to play with it, but overall, again, it lays really nicely on my foot once I got it there. And number one for me, for a shoe that I'm dropping the hammer in, I really like the heel counter. I know not for everybody, but personally, I don't always love when there's no material on the heel. I like to have a good heel counter, lock it in, just cruise for miles. Again, I think my longest run in this shoe is about 14, 15 miles, where I did paces in the middle, and it felt really good. This shoe is definitely, I'm putting it in two categories. Speed work, you know, it hasn't played in it. It better be for speed work. And that marathon distance, that race day shoe. This is a shoe that just wants to go fast. So if you're a runner looking to go fast, yeah, this shoe is definitely going to answer the bell. The other thing is too, the cutouts. I personally had no issues with it. I know it's a little bit different than the version 1. I didn't have any issues at all. Nothing got stuck in it. I did have some concerns with that because sometimes I run on some gravel roads. No issues at all. Felt really stable overall with this shoe, especially stable when I was going fast. Again, the shoe just itself delivers a lot. It's this previous version, Super Trainer. This is definitely a super shoe now. The foam they're using makes this super shoe. The plate they have in here makes this super shoe. And quite honest with you, I know it's not for everybody, but I love the looks of this shoe. I love the red, white, and blue. It's got the America vibe. To me, it just pops. When I look down, it just makes me happy. Again, I've done a good amount of runs in this one. I think I have about 31, 32 miles in, so I've definitely been putting that work in. And for the days I'm going fast, it just hits the mark. With the good, you do know there has to be some bad. And my last part with the good, I kept saying when I was going fast. This shoe wants to go fast. If you plan to go slow, I don't think you're going to enjoy this shoe. This shoe just does not want to go slow. It definitely has an aggressive rocker where it just kept pushing me to go faster. It felt okay going slow, but this shoe is not made to go slow. The other thing is, if you're a heel striker, I honestly don't buy this shoe. Quite frank, don't buy this shoe. I think this is too, let me look at this one. This is just going to be too unstable. I could easily see you breaking an ankle, just not feeling comfortable. This is definitely a shoe that wants you to land on your toes, and maybe your midfoot, but definitely not your heel at all. And again, you know, I mentioned in the good, the tongue, you know, it definitely, it lays flat once I got used to it, but I wish they would just gusset it. Just gusset it, get a really nice lockdown in. Let me get my foot in there, like a race day upper, and let me not forget it. Again, once I'm running, it doesn't bother me, but I gotta point out, yeah, I hate fidgeting with the tongue. I really do, especially with race day shoes. When you're putting your foot in there and you really just want a great lockdown, I don't want to have to fidget with it. Again, nitpicky, but again, it is one of those things. The other thing is, this shoe is $275, folks. That is a lot of cheddar. I get it. It's a race day shoe. Got the carbon plate in it. I get it. I hear the carbon plate. I do. $275 just hurts my soul. It hurts my wallet. I do not like the price. I don't love when shoes are that crazy high. I get it. The market is kind of shifting that way, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to call it out every time. But honestly, that's it. I personally just don't think if you're going to go slow, this shoe just won't work for you. You heard the good, you heard the bad, and now you want to hear my verdict. Should you buy the shoe? Honestly, I think if you love Hoka, you're probably going to love this shoe. Just buy the shoe. This is probably what you've been waiting for. If you're a person that just has great mechanics, you're always on your toe, buy this shoe. I think you're going to love the foam. I think you're going to feel fast. $275, again, sucks, but for a race day shoe, it's kind of the going market. I roll my eyes. I don't really love that. But for me personally, I think I could do a half marathon in this shoe. I don't think I could do a marathon in this shoe. And the reason why is I'm a good runner. I'm not a great runner. And my biggest concern is my form is not great at the end. And my biggest fear is landing here. I know the last handful of miles of a marathon, I am in desperation mode. I'm just trying to get done. I feel like I would kind of feel like my ankle's going a little bit. I just don't think that my form is good enough. Maybe if I was an elite runner and I could keep my good form every way, but I feel like once your form goes and you start being more of a heel striker, which I know I do, I really do, I just don't think it would work for me. So again, for me, I like this shoe for speed work. For the half marathon distance, I just don't know personally, unless you have perfect form, I would take it up to the marathon distance. Again, that's something you definitely want to decide. Again, it definitely hits a lot of check marks for me, especially for how fast I feel in this shoe. But I wish it was just a little bit more stable in the heel. I get it, they had all these cutouts to kind of decrease the weight, which again, it is one of the lighter shoes that I've had. But I just think for me, and for some of y'all that are not elite runners, you might just find some issues with that at the end of the run. So again, I really like this shoe. If you have perfect form, you love Hoka, buy the shoe. If you're worried that your form just goes at the end of a marathon, you just might want to be careful before you buy the shoe. You heard the good, you heard the bad, and you heard my verdict. Now I want to hear from you. Did you like the shoe? Did you love the shoe? Be honest with me. Did you hate this shoe? Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this shoe. Did you take it to the marathon distance? I'm really curious. Again, thanks for watching this video and all of my content. I really appreciate that. Remember, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and until next time, I'll see you all out on the run. Thanks for checking out this latest review. Don't forget, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and check out some of the other rad content that I've dropped out on the channel.